everyone. I want to thank everyone that joined our Easter Live with the Voice Chick today. We had a very special guest, Atoyin Lulu Ogumade. She's a holistic professional practitioner that helps women and couples in achieving pregnancy and of course through surrogacy, and she's also an author. Today we talked about what you must know while you're waiting, so for waiting moms and waiting couples. We talked about our experiences. Toyin waited for over 13 years to be a mother through surrogacy, and I waited for over 10 years, and we both have two adorable children. We shared our experience in terms of our learnings and what you shouldn't do and what you should do. And I just want to summarize, just to do a recap of some of the highlights that she mentioned. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is that you don't plan to be a waiting mom or a waiting couple. It happens, you find yourself in it, but you shouldn't blame yourself. Don't blame your spouse, don't blame yourself, especially when you're saying, oh, it's something wrong with you or something wrong with your spouse. Don't blame yourself. Remember, God has brought you together as a couple, and you need to face whatever issues that you have in terms of fertility together, and that makes you stronger. So please remember that you don't plan to be, a waiting mom or waiting couple. It also takes your mental, your physical, and spiritual effort in getting out of this issue. Physically, you have to do a total overhaul of your wellness. So these are some of the things that I would be highlighting very soon. So if you are interested in understanding how you can have a total overhaul, please DM me later after this video. You need to be in a happy state. It's very important you put your mind away from it. So there's so many things you can think about that you can get yourself engrossed in while you're waiting. But you need to prepare yourself, because just like you want to have a baby, while you're also trying to achieve pregnancy, you need to prepare yourself. So you have to prepare yourself mentally, prepare yourself physically, and you prepare yourself spiritually. So you need the God factor you cannot remove, because God is the author and the finisher of our faith. He's the one that gives children, so you cannot count him out of it. You need to trust him with all your heart and believe in his word. You need to immerse yourself in his word, because his word is true. People who are 68 years old, 50 something year old, they are getting pregnant, under medical conditions or under medical terms. They probably should not, but it happens because God is God, and you can't remove that. So you cannot remove the God factor. Whether you want to achieve pregnancy normally, whether you want to achieve your pregnancy through IVF, whether you want to achieve your pregnancies through surrogacy, whether you want to be a mother through adoption, you cannot remove God factor. So please, whichever way that God has placed for you, wait for you to go, or whichever way that it has happened for you to use, accept it that it's God's plan for you. And remember, anything that you're doing, whether you're doing IVF or any of this, you need to put God into it, because it's God that starts it and it's God that finishes it. People say, oh, I've done IVF 13 times, 5 times, it has not worked. Because it has not worked then doesn't mean that the next one is not going to work. Are you doing the right thing you're supposed to do? Have you prepared yourself physically, mentally, spiritually? These are some of the things that, you can't explain. But one thing that I would say is that do not give up on your quest to be a mother. Whether you're birthing that child, in terms of giving birth to that child, or you're adopting a child, it is still mother. Motherhood is not about you giving birth, carrying a child from 0 to 9 months. Motherhood is about you nurturing a child and bringing that child in the way of the Lord. That is what motherhood is. So you need to first understand what motherhood is first, and then you can apply it appropriately as you want. Another thing that is very important is a total change of lifestyle. You need to change your lifestyle. Awaiting couples, you need to change your lifestyle. So these are some of the things that I will be willing to share with you. Going further, it needs a total change of lifestyle. I had my son 2 years ago. I was over 40, and I had an amazing pregnancy. I didn't have morning sickness. I did not have swollen feet. I was healthy throughout. And I know that it's only God. And because I had also prepared myself before then, because I know this was what the path I needed to go through. I had prepared myself, so I had a fantastic motherhood experience. I had a fantastic pregnancy, post-pregnancy, everything with the right support and all that. So I'll be sharing some of these things if it's something that you would want to experience as well. For me, it's about having a safe motherhood period, having a pleasurable motherhood period, and having pleasurable motherhood period and a memorable motherhood period. Those three things are so key for me: safety, memories, and pleasure. Very key when it comes to motherhood. This is what every woman should crave for. This is what every woman should want, and I'm willing to help every woman who's willing to take that journey. I'm available for that. Toyin, we also talked about that everybody's time is different. So because Mrs. A had her child 1 year after marriage doesn't mean that you're going to have your child 1 year after marriage. Some people will wait for 5 years, people will wait for 10 years, people will wait for 20 years, people will wait for 30 years. Everybody's time is different. What you should know, or what you should look at in terms of end result, is that when it is your time, it is your time. So be in alignment with God to say, Lord, I know you're going to give me my children when it is my time. I am waiting, and I believe and trust you. These are the things I want to do. Whichever way that is the way you want me to go, I am with you 100%, because I know that you'll perfect it when it is my time. So when it is your time to sign, nothing can stop you. No, nothing can stop you. When it is time, it will happen. So everybody's time is different. Don't look at clock Mr. and Mrs. A and compare to Mr. and Mrs. B. Everybody's time is different. These are some of the things I have learned. For me, during the time I was waiting, I've learned to be sensitive. I've learned to be sensitive with people in terms of their emotions. I've learned to be sensitive with relationship. I've learned to be sensitive with everything, because I don't know what people are going through. And I can't see an old friend and be asking, how are the children? I'm not going to do that. It has taught me a big lesson, And for me, while I was waiting, I had to, because I didn't want people to be asking me these questions. My social life was almost at a zero. You understand? I was only interested in going to work and doing my business and all that. But now that, I'm now a mother of two, I've been, I'm fulfilled, and I give God the glory for all that. I'm able to evolve. I'm seeing so many things that I should have done 10 years ago. I couldn't do because I was immersed in, I just want to have a child. I just want to be a mother. You understand? So sometimes when you're waiting, it takes everything away from you. You're sort of focused on that. And it's normal. I must say it's normal, because I didn't even know that was what was happening to me. It's normal. But what I would advise, because I've learned from it, is that while you're waiting, do things that would take your mind off that waiting period. Do things that you enjoy, do things that makes you happy. Launch a new business, start a new whatever service, whatever that makes you happy, as long as it takes your mind from it. It's important that you are in a good state of mind when you want to conceive, because it does have a lot to do with it. You must not be dejected, you must not be anxious, you must not be depressed, you must not be worried. And I tell you, it takes the grace of God. It takes you working on your mental health. I tell you, when you do that, and you are in a happy place always, when it comes, it comes. Sometimes it's just a change of environment. I know couples who don't let them just change their environment. They traveled, and she conceived. Some people change, they go for a staycation in a hotel, they do it, and it happens. You just don't know how God would do it. Sometimes it's just a change factor, because it all has to do with the mental. It's the mental that controls everything. Your mental controls your hormones. It controls the types of eggs you release. It controls your maturity of your eggs. So many things. So when your mental state is not at rest, it affects it. So please don't look at mental thing as just, it's not it. Yes, the doctors could have said, you have hormonal balance, you have low sperm count, you have all that. I tell you, sometimes it's just that change in your mental state, and everything just works out. Because you know what? God is the author, He's the finisher of our faith. He's the one that does everything. He can change situations. But you need to first believe and be in a good state of mind to be able to hear. If you're not in a good state of mind, you won't hear what God is saying. You won't understand what He's trying to tell you about this. You understand? So you have to continuously work on. And I think this COVID time is a good time for you to work on your mental state as couples. It is a good time for you to prepare yourself. Think about the day of your naming. Think about how you're going to make up your daughter's room, your son's room. Think about the names you're going to give your children. I remember when I was waiting, I was always buying clothes. Anytime I traveled, I had the opportunity of traveling, even for work and work-related things, I would always shop for my babies that I never had. By the time my children came, I didn't have to buy a single thing. I had 4 boxes of clothes for them. I had not just clothes, everything that I needed. So it saved me a lot. I just needed to just buy basic things, but I was already preparing. I already knew the names I wanted. I had already told God this. So you have to prepare. You have to be in a happy space. You have to think of the end result. The end result, when you think about the end result, you are now able to move, and it will become physical, right? You're thinking about it in your dreams. You're dreaming about when you want to sleep in the night. You think about how you're holding your child, how you're playing in the garden, how you and your husband are having a fun time with your children. When you start thinking about this, it will eventually come to pass, because that's life. That is the word of God. That is the way of life. So do more of this. Be in a happy place. Consciously, intentionally be in a happy place. So motherhood, don't give up on your motherhood journey. Very important. No matter whatever the doctors have said, they can tell you have 4 things wrong with you. People who are 68 are giving birth. So don't look at those things. Remember, the word of God is the same today and forevermore. It does not change. Do things that are extremely very important for you. Rely on the word of God. IVF is God's miracle. Whichever way, don't look at it as it's not the right thing. There's nothing right. When it comes to God, there's nothing right. When you put Him in first things, everything is right. Because once it works, it is God that has made it work. As long as you're not doing anything that is contrary to the word of God. But it's the God that has given gynecologists, embryologists, that knowledge. So there's nothing wrong with IVF. So please, if that's the way that they have told you that you need to go, please try it and support it in prayers. And of course, have a support group. We have a support group for women, FAB, Bumps and Moms. So if you want to join our support group, we encourage ourselves. We have awaiting moms. We have moms that have children and moms that are pregnant. So please, you can join us. So you can DM me if you want to join our support group. We'll be happy to have you. Prepare yourself. Don't be in denial. And get the right source of help. Okay, so don't just wait in one place or do IVF in the same place. You understand? Find out, talk to people who you know that can advise you, right? And advise you rightly. And when you have a path to go, put it in prayer and, take that action. So I want to thank everyone who joined this particular life. It's something that is very dear for me, and I pray that everyone who's waiting would have testimonies. Please believe that when it's your time, it is your time, and you will be a mother, you'll be a father at the appropriate time. But you need to take action. You need to prepare yourself, and you need to take some steps to help you. It's not going to come just like that, except that's how God wants it. But in most cases, if you've waited for over 5 years or more, you need to take some appropriate actions. You need to work on your physical, your spiritual, and your mental. So thank you so much. If there are any questions, if there are any concerns, if you need support, please DM me at The Voice Chick. I'll be happy to offer. As I said, we have a motherhood support group for awaiting pregnant and nursing moms. So you're free to join us. So you can DM me or go to my link and get in touch with me. Thank you so much, everyone. God bless you, and wishing you a fruitful year and God's miracle of children. God bless and take care.